So we're going to start the Shrewsbury Public Library Trustees meeting. Today is October 22nd, 2024. My name is Lisa Powers. I'm the chair of the Shrewsbury Library Trustees. The first item on our agenda today is to review and act to approve the minutes of the September 24th meeting last month. And I did review the minutes. They looked excellent. I don't know if anybody has any.
Yeah.
Actually, I should have. I'm sorry.
No.
Bob did send it to me, and I reviewed it. But today, when I read it, I found
Okay. Yes.
it's on. It's under personnel.
Okay.
The last sentence on that page. New Sunday supervisor is Mark Adler.
Yes, I
Which
had
one?
a question about that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And
So what's the name again?
Mark
The
M-A-R-K
unit.
Adler.
He's the
Oh, okay.
And Sunday reference librarian is the former reference intern. So you
Oh,
have the
okay.
second part correct.
Got it. Sunday's reference library.
Librarian is
And-
is
okay.
Christina Gallego. I'm sorry, I should
No
have
problem.
seen that.
That's great. I will update those and then.
Yeah.
And
we can-
He's the Sunday supervisor.
I did notice that. I wasn't sure if I remembered it wrong,
because
but
Mark had been a Sunday employee.
He had
Ready?
Sunday. Okay.
No, he
No.
was
No, he's a new-
seasonal aide.
Okay.
He's been with the library, but he was a page, he was a seasonal aide. Now he's the Sunday supervisor.
Great.
Okay. And then.
Everything else is good.
Is there, okay.
Yeah.
any
At
other
least as of that date, because I'm looking at under personnel, but custodian, but we'll get to that later.
any other comments about the meeting minutes from last month?
Bravo.
Great,
Well done.
I move to approve them as amended.
Do we have a second?
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The minutes pass unanimously. The next item on our agenda is to review and approve the report of the director's activities, September 2024. Priya, I was wondering if you could comment on the meeting with Christy Farrar,
Yes.
the library
Yeah.
consultant for space optimization.
Yes, I just a second. My notes. Yes, so Christy Farrar is the MBLC consultant, and I had requested that I requested MLS to send someone to help us evaluate our spaces because it's 8 years since this building has been renovated. We have more staff members now, so staff spaces, public spaces, our collections, as we are adding a world languages collection, and maker space is a new thing. So I wanted someone to come and help us evaluate the current spaces, see if we can reconfigure something to make it more useful for everyone. So Christy was very helpful. She came in, she spent a couple hours with us. The managers and I gave her a tour of the whole facility. She looked at all the collections and then submitted a report a couple weeks later. So the main thing, some of the things that she mentioned were, as far as the collections go, she talked about displaying books like in a bookstore, with the cover facing the public. And one thing she said was, if it's not on display, it's in storage, which is very great to, process,
Wow.
but difficult to implement if we had to do that. We try to display the books as much as possible, end of each shelf, and then we have displays around the library and stuff. So that was one thing she mentioned, and then she said, see what Shrewsbury patrons are borrowing compared to what you send out through the interlibrary loan, and focus on purchasing more of what Shrewsbury Library patrons are borrowing. Interlibrary loan is something that we all the libraries in Massachusetts participate in. So we can evaluate that. While weeding, especially, she said, look at whether it had been borrowed by Shrewsbury patrons or it went out through ILL. So that was one thing. And as far as the world languages collection, she suggested, and we had also thought about this, having it right in the near the entrance to the library where the audiobooks are. So we did a great weeding of our music CDs, very, very, what's the word to use? Hardcore weeding of our music CDs, and we've emptied those shelves actually. But now we have to find the right kind of shelves to put books there. So we are working with public facilities to help us with the shelving, and we have started looking at starting a collection. I think I mentioned that at the end, World Languages Acquisitions team. So we have a team of a couple youth services librarians, one person who is going to be focusing on adult nonfiction, one person on adult fiction, and and myself, of course, as part of the team. And the first thing we did was evaluate what the languages are. I think we already mentioned that at the last meeting, maybe. See what the schools say are the families in Shrewsbury, what are the different languages that are most popular. So instead of doing a survey, we are basing it on the results from the school. They've done their surveys, they know what the families belong to different or speak different languages at home. But we are going to start with a Spanish collection. So we spoke with Worcester and other libraries that have good world language collections, and vendors and publishers are easier, it's easier to access for Spanish books. We will be researching other languages, but we're going to start with Spanish and focus on bestsellers in English, which might be which are translated in Spanish, and then Booklist has reviews of Spanish books, so it's easier to start with Spanish, I think. So that's what we are going to be focusing on. Anyway, so that was one of the things she mentioned regarding space and collections. Then what else? The furniture in this hallway, she looked at that and she said, these tall tables and high chairs are not necessarily accessible. So that's something to think about.
The pub style.
That's true.
Yeah, okay.
Those
I mean, it's
tables.
mostly young kids.
It is
Doesn't
used
mean,
a
it
lot.
doesn't mean that just because like a lot of the YA
Right.
will kind of come and
Right.
study there, but doesn't,
Yeah.
that's not mutually exclusive.
Right. Right, but even in the morning, there are people who use it all the time. They are well used, but it's something to think about and evaluate. And even the seating there in the hallway, she said there should be a table wherever there's a chair, for a person to be able to keep something, and
Yeah.
again, accessibility kind of thing. And she also said, look at all the furniture in the building. This is observation. See what people gravitate to as soon as they come in to the library. See what's being used the most, and what people are avoiding or not using, which I think is difficult to assess in our building. I think everything is used, but we can definitely observe that too. So that was something she mentioned. Maker space, I think she was happy with what we have up there in the learning lab and in the business office. Workspaces, she had some recommendations which may or may not be very practical. She said that especially in the children's room, children's staff area, the desks are a little wider, and she said, oh, maybe you should get smaller desks and then you can accommodate more. But I don't think we can go and replace all the furniture that we have. So there are some things that are good takeaways from what she recommended, and we will keep evaluating that.
When you do acquisitions and weeding,
Mm-hmm.
I would imagine you're already looking at whether things are checked out by Shrewsbury.
I don't
Here,
think that was
or
one
is it-
criteria. Generally
like-
just checkouts we were looking
I
at.
was gonna ask, or is it
Yes.
just like net number of checkouts?
Net number of
No.
checkouts
So
in the
you
last
have
5
to
years.
dig a little deeper.
Oh.
Right,
Oh.
exactly,
Okay.
exactly.
But
Yeah.
that is all within the context of that is all data that's readily obtained.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
We can get it from CW Mars. We generate reports all the time. And we use different criteria for fiction versus non-fiction, depending on space. And, when a new book is popular, we get 5 copies. After a couple years, we might weed those, have just 1 or 2 copies. A lot of different criteria for different sections of the collection. Yeah. Some of it is like reminders also.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It seems to me like there's no reason to think that other libraries are different in the kind of books that they're after than we are, so.
Right.
Yeah, so I think the kind of numbers you're getting already from CWMR's copies can be adequate.
Mm-hmm. Right.
In terms of this foreign language collection, how big do we anticipate this getting to be? That's not a whole lot of room out there in the CD
I know.
racks.
That is true, yeah. A growing collection, we'll have to keep evaluating the space. One other thing she suggested was the periodicals room, consolidate that a little more and maybe get 1 shelf there. So that's something we might be able to do at the end of the year when we weed all these magazines. Yeah, it's something we have to keep evaluating and thinking about. There is more room upstairs that we can, adjust, but this floor is really tight.
What about the books on CD? What's the
They are very
circulation
popular.
there?
Yeah, it's very difficult to weed them. We're constantly weeding those, but they are popular still,
Okay.
despite
I didn't know how many
audio.
maybe.
This audio is also used.
The playaways. that they
Right.
have.
Yeah, other libraries say that they don't circulate very well, but ours, it does circulate.
Okay.
Playaways and
Because
and
newer
CDs.
cars don't even have a CD.
Exactly.
slot. Like
And
I-
that's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
just 'cause
because-
a lot of people.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and we, on a family road trip, we would always
Yeah.
Yeah.
get them in
They're
the,
not in the-
they're no longer, right, they're no longer on laptops or
Right.
in
Right.
motor vehicles. So yeah, I just was
Right.
wondering how that was working.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
So,
Yeah.
now in terms of the music collection, are some of the selections available on things like Hoopla and other free?
Freegal,
Freegal
it
and
would
other.
be available.
Okay,
Yes.
yeah,
But music CD, the circulation is going down.
let's go down, yeah.
Yeah.
Because there are so many streaming things.
But we
for-
might have to start collecting vinyl records again because those are getting to be popular.
They are, and I will say the sound quality is better on vinyl.
So we'll need more space for that, more than
I lost mine
CDs.
with flood. I lost mine. You want it be.
So it's
Very interesting. I was also wondering if you could comment on the Memory Cafe meeting. I know we have the Memory Cafe twice a month.
Yes.
For Alzheimer's and different things like that. But
Mhm.
who is involved in the Memory Cafe meeting? Is that the senior center or is that just
just
within the
us.
library?
Within the library.
Oh, it's
They
the
have-
library staff.
The library staff, yes. There are, so we have 2 sessions during the month, and the senior center offers 2 memory cafe sessions on different days. They changed it from Friday to Wednesdays,
Okay.
Wednesday afternoon. So in Shrewsbury, there are 4 sessions offered during a month, which is very good. We have a steady attendance rate of about 10 to 12 people, sometimes new, sometimes familiar faces, but everyone enjoys the entertainment. The music is always appreciated.
So there are 4 sessions per week, 2 occurring at the
No,
council
4
on
sessions a month.
a month, okay.
Yeah,
2
2.
are occurring at the council on aging at the senior center, and 2 are
2
occurring here in
here.
our library.
Yes.
They're staffed by library, they're conducted, the ones
We
here
are
conducted by-
coordinating it, yes.
Okay.
We have staff members and a volunteer.
Okay.
And I
And is
think
that
they,
also the case at the at the senior center?
I think they
Also-
have volunteers
They have volunteers,
than
okay.
staff.
It's an amazing service you provide.
That is tremendous. Was that a grant funded?
Initially
Initially
funded.
Initially it was grant funded.
Initially grant funded, now it's funded by the Turkey Trot for Alzheimer's.
Yes, because you have the curse of competence. When something goes well, they decide to hand it off.
Yes. And we supplement it with state aid funds.
Okay.
You may talk about this under facility, equipment and grounds, but, can you talk about the meeting with Joe Sexton?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Cause,
Yes,
I
he's
had a
the
good gasp when I saw that.
yeah. He's the new divisional manager of public facilities, and he has been very proactive and reached out and wanted to, schedule meetings regularly. And we have been meeting. I have been meeting with him and with the assistant divisional manager Bill Tuttle, the custodial supervisor John Hamilton. Do you want me to talk about the facility
You
thing?
can do
Right.
that, you can do it.
Well, yeah, at that point.
At that
Okay.
point.
Yeah. So, we are brainstorming ideas to help with the custodial situation.
Okay.
We can
Yeah, we can pick that.
we can pick that back up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But thank you for bringing it up.
Yes.
Oh, well, that's fine to, anyway, that's totally fine.
Any other
Sorry.
comments on the library director's report?
Just that I appreciate you doing all that you did for the Spirit of Shrewsbury and
Oh,
having
thank you.
the library be present there.
Yes, we enjoy it. We do that every year.
It was a
so.
good day.
It was a beautiful day, and we had fun.
Do we have a move to approve the library's director's report?
So moved.
Second?
All in favor? Aye. All opposed? It passes unanimously. The next item on our agenda is programs and services. The director's report of programs and services offered in September 2024. And I'm always happy to see just, the full offering of programs for children and adults and teens
Yeah.
that you offer every month.
Yes, we have very hardworking staff and creative staff members who. Some of the programs are led by staff, and some are, of course, coordinated. And we invite performers and presenters to do them. So we do have a variety of programs for all ages and all interests.
Can you talk about the banned books and kissings?
This is a group in Boston, and we had invited them to come and give a talk about the history of LGBTQ. And is that the one you're asking about? Yes. The attendance was a little less than what we had expected, but very engaged audience. Yes.
How did the flamenco guitar concert?
I think it was good. I'm not sure what the numbers were, but I bet it was a popular concert.
Mm.
I have to say, I just love that a list of non-library groups that are using this space. Anything from a soccer referee training to
Yes.
a presentation about a Medicare Advantage plan. It
Yeah.
really is a good use of community space.
Right.
Postal service.
Yeah, I was surprised to see that the Postal Service hiring
Yeah.
event.
Yes.
Even that, right?
Yeah,
That's amazing.
Yeah, that I know. That is, yeah.
Any other comments about the programs? I mean, it's really an amazing array of programs, as always. Thank you for that, Priya.
Thank you.
The next item on the agenda is Financial and legislative. Review and act upon the year-to-date report.
We are on target with the spending. Little over the first quarter, we've spent 73.6% total. So I think we are on target.
Good. Yeah, it looks good. What exactly, I just had one tiny question, because every month I'm trying to understand the reports a little bit better, but what are library supplies and how does that differ from office supplies? I see that we have,
Right.
I believe it's 10,000
Yes.
budgeted
Yeah,
for
we have
libraries.
library supplies, educational supplies, office supplies. Office supplies is typically what is used by staff, you know, all the paper and gosh.
Oh, like Post-it notes, some of the rubber bands.
Yes,
that you
all
use
that
on
kind of
the
stuff.
Pens.
Notepads,
okay.
mostly what is used by staff versus library supplies is what we use to process the books and,
Okay.
you know, the
As a
covers, the barcode labels,
Okay.
all the supplies that the cataloging librarians use.
Okay,
And it is for all the collection.
okay, gotcha.
For the
So specifically for library
Yes,
services?
yes, yes. And educational supplies is typically what the children's librarians would use for, you know, all their art and crafts things and programs and that.
So I move we approve the year-to-date budget report.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The year-to-date budget report passes unanimously.
Lisa, while we're on the financial subject, can I just ask a question related to finances? So we've gotten a few warrants to sign in the past couple of weeks. And
Yeah.
there's one I have a question about. It has a column for credit. It was about 1 or 2 pages that had
Really?
expenditures and credit.
Oh.
I'm just wondering, are items returned sometimes?
I mean,
or-
sometimes with Amazon there might be credit, small amounts, right?
Yeah, nothing. I
Yeah.
was just surprised to see that whole column.
Yes, it's mostly Amazon
Amazon,
items that have been returned for some reason and they
Alright.
credit us.
Okay.
Or Ingram, any of those, you know, the
Okay.
vendors that, yeah. I
Okay.
think it was Amazon in the recent warrant.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Yeah, I think it
What the
was.
vendor was, but okay, thank you.
And just to comment, the approval process with the computer is really working well, I think.
Which one?
How we do the approvals now by on computer
Yes.
with
Yeah.
Adobe.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, well, yeah.
Right, yes.
Very
Not
easy
due
to
to
use.
COVID.
Yeah.
Yes.
Positive.
All those sheets of paper, yeah.
Oh, yes, remember there
Oh,
was
that was
Yeah.
this Jack.
Yeah.
I'm grateful that was before my time.
Yeah, it's easier to look through the reports
Yes.
thoroughly that way. So
Right.
it really is a wonderful advantage
Yeah.
to be able to sign all those
DocuSign.
documents, you know, in the comfort of our home or wherever we do that. Next item on the agenda is review and approve the fiscal year 26 action plan.
Yes. So this is still based on the same strategic plan. So the action plan is not too different from the current action plan, fiscal year 25 action plan. But we have to start working on this so far in advance because after it's approved by the board, I have to refer to this while I'm preparing the budget proposal for fiscal year 26. So that's why we have to work on it so much in advance. And this year I usually share it with the managers, get their input. This time I included all the new staff members, the adult services team, because last year they were not. I think some of them might have been here, but others may not have been part of our team. So I got their input, especially the technology librarians, the new reference librarians, the outreach librarian. Because again, staff uses this action plan when they are developing their goals, you know, for the annual goals. So it's important that everything is tied in. everyone buys into it, then it's easier for them when they are developing their goals.
Okay.
When will you have to have the draft budget for the next warrant?
January, I think.
January? Okay. It's not
Yeah,
that
by
far
the
away.
Yeah, for the December trustee board meeting, I'll have it ready, so the board approves it, and then I think we meet
Okay,
with
so next
Kevin.
month.
December, not
Oh,
November.
that's what it's October.
We are still in October.
I lose track sometimes.
Yeah, December I'll get it for this board,
Mhm.
and then January for the town,
Okay.
and then FinCom will be March.
Do we have to approve the action plan?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll move to approve the fiscal year 2026 action plan.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? And the action plan for fiscal year 26 passes unanimously. The next item on the agenda is facility, equipment, and grounds. Do you want to update us on that, Priya?
sure. So the new custodian who had been hired in September resigned very quickly, I think within a month. And that was very unfortunate because we just started training her and she was getting used to the system here. But she resigned. So they have posted, the public facilities has posted the position again, and they will be hiring a new custodian. In the meantime, they have said that they would help us as best as they can. But currently there is no custodian during the day at the library. They have hired contractual cleaners to clean at night after the library is closed. So the cleaners come and clean the whole building at night, empty the trash, etc. So in the morning when we come in, the staff comes in, the building is ready kind of for us to start the day. But having no custodian during the day is really impacting the staff and all the operations of the library. I do understand the constraints of public facilities. They are short-staffed, and they said that they would send a person. I mean, they have been sending Aloar actually, who was the custodian here for about half an hour to an hour in the morning on weekdays to help with meeting room setup. So I send them a list of all the programs that's happening in the library, in this meeting room and in the children's program room, but they can only get to one of the things in the morning that's happening, set up for one of the meetings in the morning. But after that, during the day, staff has to rally and set up for various events. As you know, the room is used all the time for our programs, for by groups in the community. So it's a very busy time, and it is a lot of work, extra work for my staff. We are doing the best we can, and I hope that they are able to hire a new person soon.
Well, given the fact that the money to pay the custodian has already been allocated, is it possible to provide some sort of compensation to the divvied up amongst the library staff who are in fact doing custodial work, even though they are not supposed to be doing custodial work? I mean, the money's already set aside. The town is saving money by having this job vacant. The money is there. If there are staff here, I think they should be compensated in some way, and that can be discussed as to how that is done. But I'm concerned that it's going to impact staff retention.
Staff morale
Yeah,
also.
yeah, and rightly so. I mean, that's not what they
Yeah.
that's not what they signed on to do.
Right.
So, yes, it's a job that needs doing and whatnot, but it shouldn't be the staff that's doing it.
Yeah, no, I'm just looking at the library stats. We have 105 adult, teen, and children's programs per month, last month,
Yeah.
and over 2,000 people in attendance. So that's a
Right.
lot of traffic through the
Right.
library, in addition to the non-program
Right.
traffic, which is
Right. Yeah.
which is huge. So if you have to set up rooms for over 2,000 people a month, yeah, that's a lot of work. And I know you're, you know, not robustly staffed to begin
Right,
with.
in
so,
the first place, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, hopefully they hire soon.
Yeah, I hope so too. They are sending someone over the weekend also because we are open Saturdays and Sundays, and we have events on Saturdays and Sundays too. So you know, like, so I have to inform them that something is going on. Like this past Saturday, we had the Massachusetts Library Trustee Association meeting. There were over 65 people here in this room. The room had to be set up. So I sent them a request, and they did send someone on Friday evening to set up the room. But then people are having lunch, and you know, there is more usage of the whole space, and the cleaning is then done again in the evening, Saturday evening. So it is. I mean, this place sees a lot of foot traffic.
And with this utilization that you're sending them, are these things not already posted?
It is posted on our website.
Okay.
We
But
have-
I'm
yeah.
just thinking if that's, again,
It is
you are
extra
doing
work.
additional work.
Yes.
Presumably without compensation for what your extra time to inform facilities.
Yeah.
When I'm not really sure what needs to happen there. Do they need to offer, to modify the compensation package that they're offering custodians? I'm not sure what the solution is, but the gaps
Right.
are causing a lot of people to do, unpaid work.
Yeah.
And
If there is a dedicated custodian, we provide them access, login information to our software, where they can see what events are being planned, what are the setups required.
And
But-
facilities people like Mr. Sexton and Mr. Hamilton.
We have said we could provide them access to that information, but they want us to share it in a Google Sheet or Google Calendar. But that is, we have a different software that we use for our calendar and events. So it's not easily exported. It's not easy. I did a screenshot of this week's events and sent it to them. And yes.
As Barb said, each one of these steps is extra work.
Yeah.
Is there any hope of getting like a temp?
Temp custodian.
Is that a thing?
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, that is what I had requested.
Other jobs that have openings, sometimes there's somebody.
That's what I had requested, a temp custodian, at least send someone, for 2 hours in the morning and 2 hours in the afternoon or something like that. But they said they're short-staffed, so.
Next item on the agenda is gifts and grants. Any update under gifts and grants?
Nothing new.
And then the next bullet point is personnel. Any updates
Personnel,
on
there's no new updates.
Okay. And the Shrewsbury Public Library Foundation, I know there's an update on that, although
Mo
we
is not here,
don't have Mo
but
here today.
yeah, sure. But I can I can provide the update. So we had a very successful distinguished speaker series with Chris Bajalian. I think many of you had come to that event. 170 people attended that day, and I think we got very positive feedback from attendees. We actually got over 70 survey responses to the actual surveys. Yes, people did provide responses to that. And I just tabulated the results of that, how people had heard about the event. So we found out it's mostly the website actually and events calendar that people look at. So people are already, all that money we spent on other things were not.
Yes,
And word of mouth was the second,
Okay.
which is good to
People
know.
brought friends.
Yes, that's how people got to know.
It was an amazing talk. Like,
It
he was
was.
very,
Very engaging,
vibrant
very
and
nice, yeah.
engaged and funny and
Right.
interesting. It was a wonderful event.
Yeah. Yeah. And the survey results also had a question. I mean, survey had a question about what are other authors or speakers you would recommend. I got a big list of authors' names and speakers and topics that people are interested in. So we have something to work. We can look at that when we plan for next year.
That's fantastic.
Yes. Yeah, we have an engaged community, so we'd be happy to bring more such programs.
The next item on the agenda is Friends of the Library. And the Friends did have their annual meeting with
Yes.
a talk by a local beekeeper. And
Mhm.
it was, I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's good.
it was so interesting. Do you want to, well, of course you weren't there.
I wasn't there,
Yeah.
but I heard that
Because
it went
Priya
on till
wasn't-
9 o'clock that night. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't kick people out.
Were you
It
here?
was, no.
No.
He
They-
spoke for a full 2
2
hours.
They were
Yeah.
closing a library.
Yeah.
And he could have talked, I think, another hour.
Longer, yeah.
Because I think people were very interested and asked a lot of good questions.
Good, yeah.
Did it take place here?
Yeah.
Okay, is that, I thought that was one of the reasons why the library design, I seem to recall with the library design that this area was intended to be, if
If it
appropriate,
was planned, yeah.
Oh, if it was planned to go
Yeah.
beyond, okay.
Yeah, we
got it, okay.
typically don't do that.
Oh, yeah, no, I know.
Yeah, it would need
It
more
was
staff.
time, it was
We
time.
would need staff, right?
Oh,
We would need custodian or a
custodian.
staff member.
Right, a custodian or a staff member to close up the building, right, okay.
He was a great speaker, though.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
He was very passionate.
Yeah.
So thank you for that.
Sure, yeah.
Any other Friends updates? I'm trying to think if there's anything
I
else.
think so.
So does this thing start with the membership drive? When is the membership drive?
The membership drive really is a 12-month
It's
process.
okay,
It really
okay.
is ongoing.
Yes.
I think the next event will be the holiday open house, which is typically.
The
I think,
first
is it
Saturday.
The first Saturday of December.
Yeah.
So we'll be
December
talking
7th, I
about that at the next Friends meeting.
Yes.
The next item on the agenda is policies. We have a new makerspace policy.
Yeah. We had looked at it last month.
Yes.
So the changes that the board had requested was about the users and the ages. So we've changed the language under general guidelines. We divided that, there was one paragraph that was a little confusing about users must complete a training, orientation, and then ages. People should, ages under 17 should get permission and all that. So we split that into 3 bullet points. Users must complete an SPL Learning Lab Makerspace orientation for all makers tools or a training for trained makers tools. Users must agree to the general guidelines and sign a waiver, release of claims, and hold harmless agreement. Users 17 years of age and younger must have a parent or guardian sign the release as well. So I think this is clearer than what the previous version was.
Yeah, I think it's inclusive of all the ages.
Right.
It's pretty clear.
Yeah, so,
Can I just say how much I love the first sentence that talks about
yes.
facilitating failure?
Yeah, I know.
So awesome.
Yes.
So it's like,
Yes.
this
Our-
is how
our
we
technology
learn, right?
librarians
I love
came
seeing
up with
that
it.
in like a
In a policy.
codified in it.
I
so
know, right? Yeah, they did a
cool.
great job. Yeah, I cannot take credit for
Kudos.
that.
Ignite creative expression. You tell them they use juicy words. Very well done.
Yes.
It's not usually something you say about a policy.
I know.
So,
But you're right, it's just.
it's
So special.
yeah, it's really, I was like, this is awesome.
Yes.
This is what a library is all about.
Yeah,
That's what life is all
Yeah.
about.
I know. Experiment, fail.
Libraries,
I was impressed at the MLTA meeting, how many libraries are doing makerspace.
Right,
Yeah, a lot.
And that we can, I assume, learn from their experience as to.
right.
So is our policy pretty much similar to most?
Oh, yeah, we definitely
Yeah.
looked at other
Yeah.
library policies.
You
Yeah.
saw a lot of makerspace when you were in San
When I
Diego.
went to San
too,
Diego,
which I
yes,
think
yes.
It's interesting in another part of the country too. It's just
Right, absolutely. And how small, medium, and large libraries are, still doing good work. And actually, we have been doing a lot of, we didn't call it a makerspace, but our children's librarians have been doing so many STEM and STEAM programs for the past few years,
Yes.
Yeah.
Put that all under makerspace.
Yeah,
So
they
we've
have.
been doing this work. It's just,
I think the policy and the waiver sounds fine. I do have questions about, I know the opening is the beginning of November, I think the 9th.
yes.
I do have questions though about, can I just ask the questions now or should we first approve the policy, I guess?
No, you can ask.
So
Let's-
is
yeah.
Makerspace gonna be open, defined hours?
Yes.
Okay. And do you have to reserve a space in the makerspace?
Yeah, so there are going to be different models. So
Okay.
some of the things can be just accessed, if there is one staff member or a trusted volunteer, then people can come in and
Without a reservation?
without a reservation.
Okay.
Some of them require a
Okay,
reservation.
because I would imagine, there's only one embroidery
Right.
sewing machine. so
Exactly.
If 5 people come to that.
Right, it would have to be by
Okay,
reservation.
So it's gonna be
Yes,
that way.
it is.
And you just answered my other question, which is during the makerspace open hours,
Mhm.
will there be a library, dedicated library
There will
staff
be.
person in the
Yes.
building the whole time?
Yes.
I
I
mean,
mean,
have room
the
whole-
first day when we're launching it
Yeah.
or after that?
After that.
After that, we have to see if we can get reliable volunteers
Yeah.
to supplement.
Yeah.
It
Because
cannot
some
be
of
just
things
the
are kinda
staff.
complicated, and I
Right.
would think that even after a training period, people might need some support.
Right, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So volunteers might be the way.
Volunteers,
to do that.
trained volunteers. Yes, but otherwise it is the staff. Yeah. And we are asking a lot of our technology librarians. It's so
Yeah.
much that they are
Yeah.
focusing on, but they love the maker space, so hopefully they'll have the time to do that.
I know I raised this question with you earlier, Priya, which was, would there be any opportunity to tap into the town's recreation department to see if some of their staff could be the volunteers kind of a thing, if they wanted to run a
If they
program
want to,
in that?
yeah, sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
might be a nice way just to collaborate
right,
with another town.
right, yeah. Yeah, we can bring it up at the
Yeah,
Human
at the-
Services
yeah,
Leadership
yeah.
Team.
Yeah.
And do we still have to run this by town council?
I had sent it to him, but I haven't heard back from him, so. Yeah, if he has the time to look at it and he approves it, then it would have been approved.
But we can probably approve
We
it.
can
For now, yes.
Yes, Board of Trustees can do it.
Yes.
Any other questions on the makerspace usage policy or the waiver agreement? Would somebody like to make a motion to approve?
So moved.
And
Second.
a second. All those in favor of approving the Shrewsbury Public Library Learning Lab Makerspace usage policy and the waiver release of claims and hold harmless agreement, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say no. It passes unanimously, both documents.
Thank you.
And is there anything under miscellaneous, Priya?
No, nothing else.
Can I
So-
just ask a quick question?
Yeah, yeah,
Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I know we talked a lot about the custodial thing, but as I was walking in, the trash barrel outside is like literally
Oh, really?
overflowing. Who takes care of that?
The
Is
same
that-
custodian
the
has to
same
take care.
Okay.
Yeah. Hopefully the night cleaners will empty it.
Oh. Okay.
What time do they come?
They come after we have left, after 9 o'clock at night.
And they clean for how long?
I don't know.
Yeah.
How long it takes.
You know, this is what we used to have as a supplement to our main custodian during the day. Before the pandemic, we had a daytime custodian dedicated to the library and contractual cleaners at night. But this is a temporary situation. We have only the night cleaners. Once they hire a new custodian, hopefully things will be better.
Yeah, it must be hard with the bathrooms and, just
Yeah,
all
everything.
everything, yeah. The setup and
Right.
the rooms and, yeah.
Everything,
Mm.
yeah.
I'd be curious to know what the expense is of having to contract it out, because, there's a reason why Public Facilities hires people and keeps them on staff as opposed
Right.
to hiring out
Right.
contracted
Right.
Yeah.
group. So, so it seems much more cost effective if they would just
Right.
put together a
Yeah.
package, but it could,
The
I'm
facilities
not sure it's about
committee could, the facilities committee maybe could talk about this and
Yeah,
Deb-
I think if this isn't resolved soon, we need to,
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah,
we
I
did
would-
try to talk to.
Last year.
Last year, we talked, and then, we provided information and facts after facts as to why we require
right.
a full-time person out here. He seemed to understand, he was very receptive,
Right.
But then,
nothing.
Just hard to find
I
people.
think we need to start
They-
taking
yeah.
photographs.
Yeah.
I was gonna
I
say
was gonna say,
photographs.
every time, everybody has their phone with them, I think it would be okay to provide some concrete evidence of, this is what the library looks like without proper custodial support. And then Priya can speak to the fact that staff morale is gonna be impacted if it's not already. They're a great group of folks, but
Right.
you can't be asking them to do two jobs and only get paid for one.
I mean, it's a public building, there's a minimum level of cleanliness required.
And as we said last time, this is the most utilized building
In
besides
the town.
schools. And
Yeah.
it's utilized at times that the schools are not,
Yes.
so, yeah.
Yeah. All 7 days of the week.
Yes.
So if the schools lose a custodian, what do? I mean, you can't leave a school without a custodian, right?
Right. And we've been losing our custodians to the schools.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's
Those are
all
all
kind of
great
what happened
points.
this time, she just tendered her resignation and is no longer,
Yeah.
Usually I think they're getting promoted, but I'm not sure.
Yeah. Hopefully it's a temporary situation. Let's be optimistic.
Yeah, hopefully next month we'll have a good update
Yes.
on that.
I mean, given this is a recurring problem, the town should have some kind of a fallback plan that every time they lose a custodian, here's the staffing group that we go to. And if you're obviously paying them more than you would pay a full-time employee, that would hasten the process of rehire.
Yeah, I don't know if, I guess one of the things that as a facilities subcommittee member I would want to ask would be, what is your process, and, what do the data show in terms of the number of losses, the amount of money that's being spent on contracted people, and, what are you offering for a compensation package? And how many applicants have you actually had? I mean, because if they don't, they can't hire people that don't, they can't hire people that don't apply. So if people are not applying for the position, then you want to find out, does that mean you need to revisit what your compensation package is, or are there other factors involved in that? So I would try my best to give them the benefit of the doubt, but since this has been such a consistent problem,
Right.
especially with the library, not as much with other public buildings, I'd be curious to know, and I suppose I should say that as a fact, that should be a question. It's, from our perspective, it looks as though the library has had particular difficulty maintaining appropriate custodial staff. Is
So
that
we
the
don't
case?
really know.
We don't really know that. Is that the case across the board in terms of what does it look like across the board with other public buildings in town? So,
I feel like you wouldn't see an overflowing trash barrel at town hall.
Mm-hmm.
There's not as much traffic there, but it's worth trying to think about.
It's a shame that we have this beautiful new building and then we can't maintain it.
yes, yeah.
How many weeks have you been without a custodian?
Now for the past at least 2 to 3 weeks, I don't know what was her last day.
Did she give
Find out.
notice? Did she at least?
She communicated with the public facilities and they informed me. Yeah, I'll tell you what her last date was.
So it hasn't been quite a month.
No, I think it's
No,
been a
no.
couple of weeks because they
Yeah, it's been a couple weeks, yeah.
Yeah, on Monday, not.
Yeah,
because
October
they did this
11th. October 10th or 11th was her last date, so now it's 10 days.
Okay. Okay.
Almost 2 weeks.
So, yeah, I imagine it's very stressful
Yeah.
to deal without a custodian
Yeah,
for that
so-
long.
Absolutely.
Um,
So there, I can read the email that he sent Joe. He said the staffing plan moving forward will be to cover the building cleaning with contracted services after hours during the week. Our staff will continue to cover Friday and weekend cleaning in-house like we've done in the past. If there's any need for additional assistance during the day, please let us know and we can send someone to assist. So that's when I asked if they could send someone for at least an hour or two in the morning and in the afternoon to help with the room setup and to go around and look at the bathroom, see if the toilet paper or the paper towels have to be refilled and whether the trash has to be emptied and stuff like that. Initially they said they could not send Alowar, but this week they have been sending him for about an hour in the morning.
Well, thank you for that update, Priya.
Thank you.
I hope there's a better update next month.
Thank you. Yes, I hope so too.
Any other comments from anybody? That concludes the library trustees meeting. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
Second?
All in favor? All opposed? The meeting concludes. Our next meeting is Tuesday, November 19th.
It's the third week because the fourth week is
Oh,
too
thank
close to Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you all.